Senate President, is that right, Kathleen Passidomo? Is she nearby? Here she is, ladies and gentlemen, Kathleen Passidomo, everybody. It's hard to see you with the sun. The sun is like right in front of me. You can grab that mic right there. And how are you?
I'm great. This is an amazing crowd. There's a couple hundred people here at 8:30 in the morning.
How about that? Looking really good.
Maybe 300, right? 3, 4?
It's for us. They came for the tour and the food and drinks.
And the bar's open. I feel like I'm in an airplane.
And the bar's
8:30 in the morning, mimosa.
And the bar's open. So first of all, how have you been? How is everything going? And maybe even some thoughts, just a general overview on the elections, things that are going on politically. Some of your thoughts that are on what's going on here in the state.
Yeah, I'm really here to advocate for our Florida's great election system. We are leading the nation in election integrity, and I want to make a shout out to former Senate President Wilton Simpson, who's here today, who teamed up with Governor DeSantis in 2022 to pass the most robust election reform bill in the country, so that our goal is every eligible vote is cast and everyone can vote. So what I want to say, I want to tell people that there's a misperception that voting by mail is not safe. I can tell you right now, it is safe, it's secure, and if you really don't feel like going to the polls, you have till the end of today to cast your vote by mail ballot. Day. We have some tremendous initiatives that we have in Florida law, and I want you all to know about it. Voting in Florida is safe, it's secure, and so I encourage everybody to trust Florida's system.
It is something that, it's a round of applause. You can round of applause that, absolutely. But there is something to be said about that, right? Because here we go again. It is the state of Florida leading. It's the state of Florida that gets it done. Far too often, I was reading some of the numbers yesterday about some of the states, for example, that the numbers of people that will be out there voting are a lot less than we are. But for some reason, there seems to be this struggle getting it done on time, or what happens with the questions about mail-in ballots. And it's a funny thing how we do it here in Florida. They don't say those kind of things about us here, do they?
Florida really leads the country in pretty much everything. Our economy is just booming. We have probably the most robust economy in the country. We had a great session last session. We passed some really meaningful legislation. We've got a great budget. We've got a great legislature, and particularly a great governor who will be here shortly.
Yeah, no doubt. Senator Passidomo, speaking of which, are there some things that you're thinking about now, looking back? Because obviously we always want to look forward, because there's a lot of good things that are coming looking forward. I believe that in just a couple of days, as a matter of fact. But having said that, even looking back and some of the things that the legislature was able to do, and some of the things that maybe you're very proud of and want to speak to directly?
Yeah, we passed so many important pieces of legislation. I had 3 really important initiatives. One was a groundbreaking, state-of-the-art, probably the first in the country bill to address workforce housing. As I look around this venue, I see a lot of young people. Don't you want to be able to live here in the city of Fort Myers or close to where you work? So the bill that we passed is going to make that more doable to provide workforce housing for our young workers. We also did an amazing health care package, which is really important because people are coming from all over the country to Florida, and they can't bring their doctors with them, and there aren't enough medical personnel in our state. So the bill that we passed is going to create more medical personnel to serve our Florida residents, and I'm really proud of that. And lastly, but not least, was an expansion of the wildlife corridor that President Simpson championed back when he was president. And now we're looking at a whole rural initiative to help the rural communities in Florida to thrive economically. And that's going to be probably of the next 50 years, one of the greatest things that we will have done in the state of Florida.
Yeah. And so now we take a look back and we hear a couple of things that are going on into the future, some of the goals, some of the things that you look forward to.
Yeah, as you all know, my term as Senate President ends in about, a week, right after the election. But I intend to stay in the Senate for another 2 years to work with my successor, President-designate Ben Albritton, who's a farmer. So he's got some really cool ideas on how to continue to protect our farmland and ranch land. And I'm looking forward to working with him in that regard. And we're calling it the Heartland Initiative. And so stay tuned for that.
And before we go, I'd have to ask about some of your constituents, people that you've talked to, and as we opened up the show and we talked about Milton making its way through, and like I said, I could not believe how many tornadoes were touching down around the state. I've talked to many people across the state about the issues of Milton and what has been happening, and still, some of the concerns in certain areas as we are statewide, as we talk to people in Tampa and Sarasota and other regions, other areas across the state. Maybe you can speak to even with your constituents in the area, in Collier and around, and your thoughts on the resiliency and the pickup after all of this.
Yeah, I was listening to Commissioner Ruane and Representative Persons Malika. We have the most resilient community here in Southwest Florida in the entire state, and the whole state has become resilient. Everybody I talked to that went through Ian and then went through Helene and then had to go through Milton is saying, okay, I got it. I know what to do. I even told Commissioner Simpson a few minutes ago that I lost my house in Ian. This time I had water, but I said, what the hell, I'm going to clean it up myself. And I did. And we will come back stronger and better. You've got great leadership in this community. And, I look forward to seeing how Southwest Florida shapes up over the next couple of years. That will be a huge topic this legislative session, because unfortunately it's going to cost a lot of money. But we have a really good economy, and we're going to take it in hand.
Senator Kathleen Passidomo, everybody, nice round of applause.